Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce is kind enough to join us after the win. Coach, just fantastic. The team reacting, the flight home. Let's go, before we get into the game, post-game. What was that celebration like?
I don't know. I walked in there, kind of came out of my locker room and walked in there. I just heard all this banging. But we had like two different separate lockers with like a wall. So I was like, where's everybody at? And we all kind of just like bunched up in this little room, like a high school locker room, and guys are just banging. And you could just see the excitement, the joy. I mean, really just the togetherness of our team just battling. Even our coaches' faces, man, because we knew it was going to be a four-quarter game, and we knew it was going to come down to the wire, and our guys, in the fourth quarter really stood up.
I want to give your travel team credit because for decades it's been tough traveling back east for this organization. You changed that. Yeah. Let's talk about the travel, the experience, how the trainers, everybody had everybody ready to go in that early window.
Yeah, it really started early in the week when I asked everybody to wake up a little earlier.
Yeah.
An hour earlier, set our clocks back, and get going really on the East Coast time. So we got used to waking up early. We felt what I felt like to get up a little earlier, even just 2 or 3 hours makes a big difference. And the biggest thing I think was the hydration part too. Like, when you're traveling and doing all this stuff on the plane for 5 hours, you're sitting around. We haven't had guys cramp up. We've done a great job with, guys just taking care of all those soft tissue injuries, things and maintenance and that. But I think a really good job by our strength and conditioning staff, our nutritionist, Ricky, and really everybody. All hands on deck was needed in a game like this.
So before you get to halftime adjustments, you're trying to run the ball, and it's a struggle again. So the offensive line, it seems like you've been talking to them a lot this week. I know you like to sit in the room with them, but going back to the game, what was it? Because I know you want to turn that around. What are you seeing on film?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you got to give credit to Baltimore. They did, they made some plays, but a lot of it was self-inflicted. Communication, not getting a call correctly or just poor technique. And we got some really good football players up front, and we need to get dialed in. Some guys are coming back. Obviously, Colton Miller, this is really on his third week back, and that gel, and I think the most important thing when we talk about O-line is those 5 guys gelling together, right? You got to play complementary football, and then really for everybody, it's all 11. But more important, I think, just the communication, our technique, and our fundamentals really have to pick up this week. We talked about the sense of urgency has to really pick up with that group. It starts with myself, the coaches. We've had some good conversations, and like I said, whatever we can do to help this team, 1, protect the quarterback, and 2, most important, we want to run the football.
Okay, tell our viewers and listeners what's it like when you go into halftime and you need adjustments quick. You're not looking to compete. You're looking to win that game. Yeah. You're down 10 in the fourth quarter. The final 12 minutes were fabulous 12 minutes when it comes to down and distance, scoring and taking advantage of the opportunities. What did you say to your coaches and team at halftime?
Yeah, I really got to give credit to our coordinators. We got together and just say, all right, what do we need to do? And I thought offensively, like, look, let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. It's a close ball game, 6-3 or 6-9 at the time. We felt like we had some opportunities in the past game, either through a sack or a missed opportunity or a read. We didn't make those plays. Hey, let's go back to them. So the same things as you saw in the fourth quarter happened in the first, second quarter. We just didn't make them. Mm-hmm. Or we didn't get the ball out in time. Defensively, third quarter, not like what we wanted, but we talked about just really keeping on Lamar, right? Keeping Lamar in that cage rush, what I talked about the week before, not allowing him to beat us with his feet and his arms, make him one-dimensional, keep him in the pocket, and it really did a good job by our secondary of competing when the ball was in the air. The tackling could improve, but I think the most important thing, we played man coverage on the play with Robert Spillane. He's reading the quarterback. He's our whole player, and JB's been pretty consistent now, man. Yeah. Really contested balls and did a good job punching it out. Now, complimentary football, right? You get a turnover, you put 7 on the board, boom, hey, we kick off. And now let's get a touchback. No, coach, we want to kick off. We get tackled at the 20-yard line. Now field position change. Now we're playing what we want to play as the Raiders, full court defense, half court offense, and credit to everybody, man. They fought for every inch of grass on that field.
Your defensive line, I saw 2 things. The speech that Maxx gave to Gardner. I mean, leadership. You were an unbelievable leader when you played in this league. You don't see that often where a defensive player leaves the field and talks to a quarterback. Did you catch that in real time, or were you somewhere else? What do you see when you look at the film of that?
Yeah, obviously it was right after the interception, right, that we threw offensively. And I saw Maxx going towards Gardner and wasn't sure what was about to happen. And when I saw him pointing at his chest and I saw the head nod, I said, okay, it's good. We're good. You know what I mean? Wow. And then to the defense credit, they went out there and made a great stance on that play and responded well. But the one thing me and Maxx have talked about, he's a great player. But to be one of the greatest Raiders of all time like he wants to be is that leadership role. And doing what he did, because sometimes you got to be uncomfortable doing things that is out of your norm, right? You're not used to either going at a quarterback or telling a teammate. But more right there, he was just saying, look, I got you, man. We're in this for together. Don't worry about it. We'll get you the ball right back. And that was the mentality of our team in the fourth quarter. Just look at our sideline. You want to know our team? watch those guys on the sideline when we're either making a play or things are going on. Those guys are dialed in that's watching that unit on the field.
I saw Christian Wilkins on that stunt when he took two with him and Maxx was able to come up. I said it was like the professor, Maxx, and the student because he works on that in the offseason. I thought the sacrifice from Christian Wilkins to take on that double team and Maxx to get the sack was incredible. That says that to me is Raider football going forward. Jacorian punches it out. Spillane makes the play. Maxx comes off the stunt. He gets credit for the sack.
Team football.
Yeah.
Sometimes all the stats don't show up, right? Christian Wilkins, I'm sure he wants 2 or 3 sacks. But some of the sacks that Maxx is getting, especially being AFC Player of the Week, is because of playing with Christian Wilkins, right? You got 2 guys there. If he takes up 2, are you serious? One of our guys is free.
Yeah.
And then we make the most of the opportunity. But really, just complimentary football throughout. I mean, Daniel Carlson, can't say enough, right? Came down to 2 really good kickers. Our guy was 4 for 4. They were 3 for 4. Our punter, he goes ahead, he gets a great job and pins them back inside the 20. Their guy shanks it. Gives us a great opportunity in the game.
We got to touch on Carolina. Breaking news, the whole NFL's talking about Bryce Young being benched. It's Andy Dalton. He's had success in the past. What do you see big picture? Because Carolina fundamentally plays defense. Yep. They got a new coach, and they want to quickly stop what's happening by trying to fix it with Andy Dalton.
Yeah, the good part, just a couple of years ago against the Saints, we went up against Andy Dalton, so we're familiar with him. We got a coach, on our staff that drafted him, and Marvin Lewis. So there's really not too much we don't know about Andy Dalton. Now it's going to be like, all right, what does it look like from a schematic standpoint? What are they trying to do with concepts? Is it a little different than with Bryce? But I think at the end of the day, and I said this earlier in the week, it's really about the Raiders. They can do whatever they want over there. Look, we got to fix our running game. We got to fix, our pass protection, our run game, get going on offense. And we got plays here. We want to get off to a fast start. And I think this is a great opportunity, us at home, to get off on a fast start.
Lastly, the fans. You told me before we started about the fans in Baltimore. Let's address that first because that was a regional game. Raider Nation, as we talked last week, have one chance. If you're in Buffalo, Long Island, you're going to go to Baltimore, and they were there for you in the fourth quarter, the whole game.
Huge, because that was one of our objectives, right? Yeah. Manage the crowd, manage the noise. Their first home game, they're going to come out. Ray Lewis is there. We talked before the game. I mean, it's crazy for 3 quarters. And then all of a sudden, at that 12-minute mark in the fourth quarter, you just start hearing the Raider chants. And literally, we all turned around, and it was like, wow. And all the way up to the top. And if you didn't see our sidelines or myself, we was getting them going. They really energized us in that fourth quarter. And our guys really fed off the energy. And that's what I've always said since day one. We feed off of that energy that they bring. So when Raider Nation shows up, it's always a beautiful thing.
What do you need from these fans, the home opener? Because anybody looking at the ticket says, Carolina, I want to go see Kansas City, Denver's a rival. No, Carolina's right in front of you. They're a wounded animal. They want to win. This is a big game for the fans.
Yeah, forget Carolina. Look, we had training camp away. We had 2 indoor practices at the stadium, which was beautiful. We haven't had any games at home in the regular season. It's time to show up, man. That black hole, we're counting on you. We're going to kick off right to you. Wherever we go, we're going right to you guys. And listen, I'm expecting this bad boy to be all black. We need to be blacked out.
Yeah, blackout.
Like, blackout all the way. And then I tell you what, I told our guys, and they'll talk to the media throughout the week, we need that energy. Home field advantage. Just take care of home. Let's play good enough on the road, right? Let's have that road warrior mentality, get a winning record on the road, and take care of home, and we'll get what we want in January.
Good luck, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.